I don't know, man. At this point in time, you're in the lion's den. You're sitting right next to a burning blaze, man.
This is
And
a Trump
any
supporter
advertiser
that
on
is
that network,
furious with
that
Trump right now,
station
right?
Fox, is on the verge of being boycotted
And
right
I
out of
understand the
having
sentiment. I
enough money to
really
even
do.
think about advertising on that station. So,
Because he's a Republican and he
all
voted
right,
for
gang.
Trump, right?
This is we're moving into a dangerous time. I feel that something big may lie around the corner here this week, next month. But a lot of
I feel bad for him and I feel bad for the Trump supporters, but listen, we tried to warn you when they were pushing Project 2025 and lying in your face, and when Trump was saying he knew nothing about Project 2025, yet he was named over 300 times in the Project 2025 papers, right? We try to tell you this is why I campaign for Kamala Harris. I personally am not even a Democrat by nature, okay? My political affiliation is independent, liberal or independent. I can go either way. And I felt it necessary because I knew that America was going to suffer. I knew that the American people were going to suffer, and I knew that the elderly that voted for Trump were going to suffer. I knew that they were going to be outraged because, they witnessed, a lot of them witnessed, what happened in the 1930s. They witnessed things that transpired. They heard from their parents, the things that happened with Hitler. They heard all that. They understood it. The younger generation, not so much. So these 19 and 18-year-old supporters of Trump, they have no clue. And they really don't care. But I feel your pain. I feel sorry for you. I feel the frustration. I was so depressed when I heard he won. And now we're knowing that there was a lot of tampering with votes as well to get him into office. So don't be surprised, because Elon Musk and his Doge, before they were called Doge, had a lot to do with tampering with the election. Elon even said that he wanted to see how things go and see if he was going to be put in jail. He knew what the fuck he did. He knew what he did. So I feel bad for these Trump supporters. I really do. I want you to hear a lot of his frustration, right? But we tried to tell you, okay? People who supported Kamala Harris tried to warn you, because we love America and we didn't want to see America have this happen to it. You have the squatter in chief in the White House who thinks he's not leaving the White House, okay? He feels he's not going to be indicted. He doesn't feel he is going to be impeached. He is a squatter in the White House right now. That's why he built the ballroom. He feels in 2028 he's not going nowhere. That's what he fucking thinks.
And you have released a movement. Hello, gang. This is Boomer. This is really for Donnie Trump and the Republican Party. We've had it. We have had it. We are lit. Decent people in America, which we are the vast majority. We've had it. And you have released a movement that you will feel, Donnie Trump, for the rest of your born days. Because we're coming for you. We're coming for the White House. And the people's house. That's our house, not yours. And by the way, you work for us. You don't work for a few billionaires and Vladimir Putin. And you work for the...
I've heard several people who have supported Trump saying that he works for them. Under normal circumstances, you could say that. Under normal circumstances, you could say that the president works for you. We have a president who is a neo-Nazi, KKK pushing, agenda pushing, white supremacist pushing, narcissist. And after hearing William Sasha testimony of what happened to him as a child, this person is... the things that he did, what he claims Trump did, is very diabolical. So under normal circumstances, you could say that the president works for you, but he doesn't. This president works for himself. This president is a narcissist. He works for himself. We all knew it, though. We all knew that just the fact that he took the oil from Venezuela, used the guise of drugs coming into America, all lies. They're all lies. And then bombed little boats carrying oil, bombed them in foreign waters, because we don't own the waters where Trump bombed. And then I just found out that they didn't even use U.S. military airplanes to do it. They used just a regular jet, and dropped bombs with a regular jet. So was our military really a part of this? Because I'm not sure about it now, because we didn't even use our planes. We didn't use our planes. We didn't use our drones. And what they showed as the vehicle that dropped the bombs was a regular a passenger jet, and that should be concerning to a lot of people in itself, if that's the case, right? But these Republicans, these elderly Republicans, think that they voted somebody in that was going to uphold law, that was going to be a predecessor for righteousness and law. And the first clue should have been you voted in a convicted felon. Okay? Multiple charge convicted felon, and he hasn't even been convicted of the things that were even described in the Epstein files. He has not even been convicted of the victims that claim he victimized them. He hasn't even been convicted of those things yet. So I really feel for these, because these elderly people seeing what's going on and saying they didn't vote for this particular thing. Well, let me just say this. When you first saw him going and snatching Hispanic people off the streets, and then Black Caribbean people and Haitians and so on and so forth, at what point did you finally see that he has overstepped his bounds? Because in my opinion, first day into his presidency, second term and the first term, but the second term most definitely, I saw him overstepping his presidential bounds, but nobody said shit. And here we are now. Let me play this.
American people, the common man, the common woman, the working man, the working woman. But that's neither here nor there. The big message I want to get across to you is that you cannot do this any longer. You must stop with your authoritarian moves and tactics. Your ICE. Your ICE is.
And this is no disrespect to the elderly Trump supporters and Republicans who believed in a Republican Party that of the past, that, you know, yeah, they might have done a few things out of bounds, but not dictatorship, nothing that was on American soil. So it kind of got a pass, right? He said to you guys, and you thought he was joking. He told you he wanted to be dictator on day one. What part of that messaging didn't you get? He told you specifically he wanted to be a dictator. He literally gives reverence to dictators all over the world. He loves it. He loves the authoritarian mindset. It really, for a narcissist, that's the ultimate gang. How Big J says, a gang. That's the ultimate, right? And the ICE agents are acting like a gang. on the soil of the United States. It's literally acting like a gang, not as a predecessor of law and order. It's acting like a rogue gang. That's what it's acting. It's acting like what I've seen in Haiti after they killed their leader. How many years ago was that? And the things that took place was exactly identical to what these ICE agents are doing. The ICE agents are using a guise, and the fact that they're using military fatigue uniforms so that when the military actually might have to step in, the American people aren't going to know who's what. It's purposeful what they're doing. There's a reason why Trump didn't give ICE agents their own uniform. Like Metro cops here have their own uniforms. North Las Vegas has their own uniforms. In California, the police have their own types of uniforms so you can identify who they are. There is a reason why they have used military. So you won't know. Let's just say that he has partnered. This is hypothetical. Let's hypothetically say that Trump has made a bargain with Putin and then brings in Putin's troops on American soil in fatigue uniforms. Are you going to know the difference if you have a foreign military on the streets in the United States? Are you going to even know? Will you know if that's the case? Will you know if they're Russian or not? Will you know that? I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't. So what should really happen, and people are not talking about, well, Sasha said it best, because he said he saw Clarence Thomas at those Epstein get-togethers that these people had. He said he didn't know what Clarence Thomas was doing. He never saw what he was doing. He just he just said he knew that he stood out because Clarence Thomas was basically the only dark-skinned black man in the whole arena of white men and white faces and white women. Let that sink in. Let's continue.
Going to get crushed. And I mean that politically speaking. The American people will not put up with a national police force like this, made up of hoodlums. I bet there are more people with rap sheets from D.C. to Richmond and serving in your ICE than there are immigrant people and foreign-born people who you are turning away and sending to these crazy countries and prisons overseas where they have no connections. You know, it's all, we get it. We understand you now, good and well. You just want to be as nasty as you can be, just as heartless as you can be, and just as nasty as you can be. Well, you know something?
So, him saying that, if people go and listen to the recounting of William Sasha's abuses as a child, from 5 years old, where his mother and his stepfather sold him into this Epstein ring, right? And you hear the accounting of what he says took place with Trump, you would fully understand why he's doing what he's doing on American soil and why he gets a kick out of it. He loves it. He loves the violence of it all. So if you put the two together, you have somebody that is diabolical. I mean, there's so many words I could use against him. Sociopath. I could go on and on and on. The traits of a sociopath is what had took place with William Sasha, right? So you guys are just now figuring this out. Trump's whole point was to come in and collapse America. But you guys couldn't see the forest for the trees.
Sonny boy, we can do that too. We can play that game too, you loser. We're coming for the White House. We're coming for the U.S. Capitol. And, you know, your tactics and your antics are not going to get in our way. We have had it. Tariffs, just, you know, all of these crazy...
The problem with what he's saying is the Republican Party in Congress are scared of Trump. because Trump has threatened them personally. So they won't go against Trump. So Trump has threatened their families and threatened them personally. And the fact that we have no actual legit FBI and CIA now, because it was infiltrated with Trump's loyalists, right? There's no insight into all the corruption that Trump has been doing. Well, there is insight, but it's not going to be told. They're not going to tell. I mean, you have these Republicans that are giving in Congress and in the Senate, they're giving him a free way to manipulate and harm America. And under a normal world order or a just world order, you would take somebody out of power, right? Under a just world order, these Republicans would stand up and actually do something. But you have these neo-Nazis and these white supremacists as Donald Trump's stronghold. So there's that.
Foreign ventures from Venezuela to Syria to Nigeria, Iran. I mean, you're distracting and distracting and distracting from the abysmal record you have laid forward here your first year in office. And of course, we all know, you're still trying to deflect our attention from the Epstein-Trump files. That's the Trump-Epstein files.
Mm-hmm.
And boy, did something big come out over the weekend. Young boys too, and other bigwigs too. You, Clarence Thomas. Oh boy. Well, Pam Bondi and Kristi Noem and whatever your name is, Kash Patel. We're coming for the facts, and we're coming to get the truth to the American people, because we don't want a Nazi in the White House any longer. We do not want you people, you cowards, who are traded out our great country, traded it out so that you could gain favor with a flunky, a guy who can't even run a 7-Eleven, filed for protection 6 times. Coward, couldn't serve in Vietnam.
He just now figured this out, but he voted for Trump. It just boils my blood, because you have to see through all those things in the beginning. You can't pick and choose because you think that he's going to do something that is so magnificent for you, but it's going to put other people in harm. At some point you need to make a choice and take into consideration not just your own needs from a presidency, but what is actually best for all of America. And I'm talking about all races of people in America. All religious beliefs in America. At some point, you have to think on that accord more than what you actually put him in there for when you knew he was convicted. When you knew he said he wanted to be dictator on day one. When you knew that he had proclivities to doing all these different things that are now showing itself so boldly in your face.
We need to get him out of the White House. We're going to win in November. He is going to be impeached once again, and we will see him.
Trump's wish is to incite dissent in America to the point where there is a civil war, and if there is a civil war, that he is going to implement martial law, and that's his hopes and dreams, right? Let's just hope that the majority of the military understand what the plot is and the ploy is, and that the people that are running, you have commanders, you have generals and stuff quitting left and right, which is, I understand. I get that part, because they don't want to do an unlawful order. So they've been tested. They've been tested with a whole lot of things that Trump has done just to see whether he can get this done. What his wishes are is there won't be anybody in America able to vote again. That's what he's wishing. That's what these neo-Nazis are wishing. They wish that there will not be a vote to be able to vote them out. And then if they do, let me just say this. It's going to be a long haul. Let's just say that they get Trump, the Republicans out, or get America back on track. Take Trump out. Let's just say they do all that. Do you know how long? Because they put these DOJ or Doge computer people and tech people in all of these government agencies. The only way that you will be able to reestablish order in America after Trump is every single one of those computers and computer systems in America have to go in these agencies, from the Department of Defense and all these different agencies, FBI, CIA, they all got to go. And the information is going to have to be manually put back in. Data is going to have to be manually put back in. And these computer systems have got to have a new security setup, because there is no security for America right now. It's been sold out to the highest bidder. So there's going to be a lot of work done that's going to need to be done after the fact. And these data centers that are storing all of this sensitive information that these billionaires have taken and put in these data centers, they're going to have to be destroyed. The data centers are going to have to be destroyed. So I got a lot to say, but let's continue.
In a court of law where justice will prevail. In the meantime, ladies and gentlemen, yeah, we need to take it to the streets big time, but also, and by the way, on a weekly basis between now and November. But in addition to that, we need boycotts. We need to refuse to pay taxes to anyone who is spending our money in a way that we do not want it spent. Products are going to be boycotted in this country, and Fox. We need finally to come to grips with Fox. That's the one. NFL. I don't know, man.
Trump doesn't need Fox anymore because he's already made CBS and all these different news outlets bend the knee. So Trump doesn't need them anymore. So all that fake news stuff is gonna all of a sudden be, in Trump's eyes, the correct news, because they're under the format of this administration and they're playing themselves out for this administration. So Fox News, Trump won't give a shit about Fox News after that, because he's already going to have all these different other news outlets preaching and promoting what he's fucking throwing out there. That's what dictators do. That's what he's doing right now. He's following the Hitler Nazi playbook. I don't know why you guys didn't see this fucking coming. I tried to fucking tell you.
At this point in time, you're in the lion's den. You're sitting right next to a burning blaze, man. And any advertiser on that network, that station, Fox, is on the verge of being boycotted right out of having enough money to even think about advertising on that station. So, all right, gang. This is we're moving into a dangerous time. I feel that something big may.
I really want to cry for this man, because I get the frustration. I get it. I mean, I was screaming from every little thing that Trump was doing that I knew was associated with neo-Nazis from day one of the second presidency. And it was very frustrating. It was very sad. It was heartbreaking. And I feel this man's pain. I really do. But Trump is he's not going to give a shit. He's already gotten what you all need to understand as Trump supporters or past Trump supporters is that you played into a narcissist's hands. Narcissists don't give a shit about you. They have never given a shit about you. So if you know that, you know where you stand, which is you are a threat now, okay, to his plans and these neo-Nazis' plans. Just know that.